Since I can't think of a proper introduction to this episode, I'll just cut straight to the plot. We begin this episode by witnessing the girls watching a show called Space Tow Truck. Seems interesting enough. Why isn't this an actual show yet?
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday!
A commercial comes on advertising for a local pageant, and it catches Bubbles' attention. A few villains happen to see this commercial while in jail, so they escape in order to take part in it as well. Problem is that unless you've seen the original, you have no idea who Fuzzy Lumpkins or the Gangrene Gang are because they aren't explained to the new viewers. Back to the girls' home, Bubbles expresses her desire to enter the pageant and Blossom fully supports her decision to enter. Buttercup's reluctant at first, but after hearing that it'll be competitive, she hops on board too. The girls and the villains all start preparing for the pageant. Blossom and Buttercup start taking the whole thing a bit too seriously, and Bubbles clearly expresses her distaste for where they're going with it, but they ignore her anyways. In comes the professor, who asks the mayor where he got the tiara in the first place. He states that he got it from a pretty lady, but it is revealed to the audience that it was actually him. Considering that the mayor actually knows who he is, why would he confuse him with some random lady? Tom Kane still does an amazing voice for him though. Back to the present, we hear Jeff Bennett announce the start of the pageant. Okay, remember how I said the villains weren't introduced? I meant that they weren't introduced properly.
We're the Gangrene Gang, and we like stealing stuff.
This doesn't really explain who they are or what they do. It's more of just a one-off line that doesn't really do much. After an embarrassing start to her introduction, no thanks to her sisters, Bubbles wows the crowd with her adorable cuteness and super strength. There's a quick montage of each character participating in the talent competition, with Bubbles cracking at the end due to the pressure her sisters placed upon her shoulders. Due to Bubbles not finishing her segment of the competition, Princess wins by default and takes the tiara for herself. After it's placed on her head, she becomes possessed by the spirit inside and wreaks havoc on everyone in the theater. Oh look, the girls went down in one hit again. How many times is that now? Oh look, they made a lame joke and fist bumped again. How many times is that now?
I repeat things for emphasis. Emphasis!
The girls realize they can't defeat the demon without Bubbles' help, so they beg for her to help them. However, she'd rather let the entire city get destroyed than help them defeat the evil monstrosity and worry about her personal issues later on. After a pitiful attempt at singing, the two of them get zapped by the evil spirit one more time. Never mind the fact that instead of the professor freaking out about his girls being in danger, he instead just sits there ignoring all the chaos surrounding them. Bubbles saves them at the last second by singing at just the right resonance to break the tiara, thus returning Princess back to normal. The girls make up with each other, and the episode draws to a close. So let's just get all of my negative criticism out of the way. I don't normally have an issue with a cartoon creator inserting themselves into a show, if they appear as an animated character. But what offends me about this is that these people have essentially just immortalized themselves in a major successful franchise that they've done nothing to improve. Another thing. This is the first time we see the Gangrene Gang, him, and Fuzzy Lumpkins in this show, and unless you're familiar with the old show, you'll have no idea who they are. There is no introduction to them whatsoever, so any new viewer is completely lost in their personalities, goals, and so on. I love how this episode is specifically called Tiara Trouble, yet the characters start calling it a crown instead halfway through. There's no consistency. This.
No me gusta!
So all in all, unless you love him as a character as much as I do, I suggest you skip this one entirely.
I've seen things ain't no man should have never seen.